1-1 with everything to play for in the series decider in Nagpur. Bangladesh stunning India in the first T20I in Delhi, creating history in the process. India bouncing back to show the might that they can be at home in the second at Rajkot. And all eyes now to see which team will take the series at the VCA Stadium in Jamtha. Right, let's look at all the key numbers ahead of this series decider on ESPN Cricinfo Matchday with me, Ronak Kapoor, and perhaps let's start with how these teams tend to do in bilateral series deciders. That's an interesting way to look at this contest. And India have a pretty good record when it comes to a series decider in the last 3 years. They've lost just the one game, that was against New Zealand earlier this year. This is of course in T20Is. Bangladesh haven't had much experience playing in bilateral series deciders. It's a 50-50 record that they possess at this point. Perhaps the toss will play an equally crucial role as well, given both teams have preferred chasing through the course of this series. Let's see what the mood is like from both camps ahead of this third and final T20I of the series in Nagpur.
Rishabh has been part of the team for a year or two now. Shreyas as well has been part in and out of the team, but now he looks pretty much settled for a while. He's done well in the ODI format, trying to make a mark in T20. All I would tell them is just understand their game, which is very, very important in whatever format you play, because understanding of your game is very, very important. And feeling confident about yourself is very important. Like they're learning every game, and with experience, in a year or two, you will see them, batting differently. Now, all we want them to is just go out there and enjoy and be fearless.
No, look, the players deserve a lot of credit. It's been a tough couple of weeks for them, and they've been fantastic. The way they've trained over the last 10 days that we've been here, the energy they've shown, the desire, the willingness to try different things has been fantastic, and all the credit must go to them. They've done a fantastic job under some testing conditions. They're playing against a quality side away from home, and if someone said to us 2 weeks ago, all of us, that we'd be 1-1 coming to Nagpur, no one would have believed it. So we're pretty happy with where we are. We know there's a great opportunity for us tomorrow, and the guys are really excited about it. I mean, end of the day, India, one of the best sides in the world. No one gives Bangladesh a chance, but we think that if you play the potential, you've got a chance in it.
Now, as far as areas of improvement go for Bangladesh, one thing they would want to better is how they finish the innings if they are to bat first, as they did in the second T20I. Rajkot, excellent start given by the openers in that game, and then the innings just fizzled off as time went on. As we look at the numbers, we see the lowest run rate in the last 4 overs in T20I since January of last year among the top 10 teams, and you see Bangladesh right up top. So they do have the poorest run rate when it comes to finishing in T20I cricket, only just before Sri Lanka and Pakistan. So that's something that they'll have to improve. Will they look to change batting orders? Will they look to perhaps have Mahmudullah or the likes bat any differently? That's something that we do have to see. Mahmudullah does possess a T20I strike rate of 120. Afif Hussain in his short T20 career just under 140. They need a few more guys that will strike in that 140 to 160 range towards the last 4 to 5 overs. Look at the likely playing 11s for both teams, and Rohit Sharma mentioning at the toss in Rajkot that he doesn't believe that the team was a bad one. It's just that errors in Delhi cost them the game, and he was vindicated with the way that India bounced back in that second game. So perhaps there won't be too many temptations to change this team, but if Khalil Ahmed's form is cause for concern, Shardul Thakur is the other potential replacement, like for like seam bowler. It does lose India the variety of the left armour, but Shardul Thakur is an option that they can use at the top as well as at the death. As far as Bangladesh go, Taijul Islam, who came into this team as a replacement for Shakib Al Hasan, could be considered as a left arm spinning option. Either him or Arafat Sunny could replace one of the seamers, Al Amin or Mustafizur, both of whom haven't quite had the same impact in these first 2 T20Is. But it'll be curious to see if both teams are tempted to make changes, having had one good game and one not so good game each in this series so far. Speaking of 2 players that wouldn't be changed at all, one is Yuzvendra Chahal, whose return to white ball cricket in India has been nothing short of spectacular. Nearly turned the game and took India to victory in Delhi, and did particularly well in Rajkot following that up as well. 3 wickets in the 2 matches so far. He could have had a lot more if things had gone his way in the field, and he is the second highest wicket taker in the series at an average of just 17. He's kept the runs down too, going at 6.5 in spite of bowling 1 over towards the end of the innings. On the other hand, Somesh Sarkar, who's been given the big responsibility to bat 3 in the absence of Shakib Al Hasan, has already got an average of over 34 in this series. Bangladesh would like for him to continue and convert those starts, something that they missed out on in that second T20I at Rajkot. Right, like I said, all to play for then. It'll be interesting to see how big a role the toss plays in what seems to be a preferred chasing habit for both teams. Let's just hope it's a cracking contest which will sum up a very fine series between these two teams. Third and final T20I at Nagpur on Sunday, and I will be back with the most relevant numbers and talking points from that game right here on ESPN Cricinfo Matchday.
Don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and leave your comments in the comment section below. Click on the bell icon for notifications.